Welcome to PEF Policy Briefs, a public education foundation video series designed to provide insight into important issues around local, state, and national education policy. Today we're talking with PEF President Dan Challener about Tennessee's recent remarkable success in winning federal Race to the Top funding. Challener was a member of the statewide team that wrote the winning proposal and offers insight into the significance of Race to the Top and the changes it will bring to Tennessee and to Hamilton County.
It's tremendously important. It's a moment now where there is a great convergence, a great agreement about some dramatic reform that now has $500 million of support from the federal government. So I think it's an incredible opportunity for the state to really move public education forward. 40 states applied for Race to the Top funds. It was the most competitive grant application process in the history of the Department of Education. They picked 2 states, and Tennessee was one of them. So I think it's just an extraordinary opportunity, both for what can be achieved, but also in repositioning Tennessee as a leader and not a laggard. For the state of Tennessee, the resources are dramatic. It's $500 million. Half of that money, $250 million, will go directly to schools and school districts. And each district will have an opportunity to take a significant amount of money. Hamilton County will get almost $11 million that they can invest in professional learning for teachers, leadership development and the development of principals, the use of data, and the use of assessments to help know where students are. The other half will go to the state, and the state can invest, again, in professional development, particularly around science, technology, engineering, and math, what's called STEM. So there's professional development that the money can be used for, data systems, again, principal development, and a support for schools that haven't made the progress they make. I think the question that's in all over the country is, why Tennessee? I mean, how did Tennessee win when 40 other states lost? And I think there are kind of at least 3 key parts to why Tennessee. One is the data, that we have the value-added system that nobody else has. 2, and I want to believe this certainly because, I was part of the writing team. I think it is a very good proposal that a large group of people, and I was just one of a good-sized group of folks who worked really hard to put together a proposal that made sense, that gets at how do we move student learning ahead. I think it's, so you have a data system that's unparalleled, you have a good plan, but then you have bipartisan support and the strong leadership of a great governor. And I think what really helped the proposal immensely was the Tennessee Education Association, the teachers union, TEA, supported very dramatic changes. We have TVAS, the Value-Added Assessment System, that no other state has. Value-added is a measure of progress. It begins to separate the student's learning from the student's family background. It's a way to see how much a student has learned every year, and it's a growth measure. I mean, part of the proposal has in every classroom desktop information for a teacher that really will help to refine and focus instruction in a way that we've never been able to do that. No other state can do that. I think what's exciting about the data is not only can it tell you where progress is being made, but perhaps more importantly, why progress is being made, how progress is being made. Value added, we can see where schools and grades and teachers are really lighting it up, are really moving students along. And then we can study and understand what it is the great teachers do. And that's an extraordinary opportunity. Every state that applied for Race to the Top said they were going to develop a value-added system. But the problem is, it's not something like a light switch that you can turn on or something simple you can build in 3 months. Tennessee's had a value-added system for close to 20 years. So having that system, having worked all the bugs out, now puts Tennessee in a unique position to really refocus instruction in a way that we've never been able to in the past. The legal changes that Governor Bredesen and the House and the Senate passed in January are dramatic. And I think they provide great opportunity for our schools and especially for our kids' learning. I think about them in sort of three ways. First of all, there's a change in evaluation. And that is gotten a lot of media attention. I think it is going to be ultimately very good. I think it's going to be very challenging to do it right the first time. But basically what the evaluation system says is every teacher will be evaluated every year. We've never done that before. Every teacher will get feedback, and the feedback will be based sort of half on observation, a traditional observation by a principal while you're doing what you do. And the other half will be based on student learning, and in particular, TVOS, the gains your students make. And though that would seem pretty predictable in a business world, that performance and how your student outcomes are would be part of your evaluation, it's absolutely new for Tennessee and any state. So I think the evaluation piece, it'll take some while. I think Hamilton County is really fortunate. There's a committee of 16 people appointed by the governor, and one of them is our own Jill Levine, who's the principal at Normal Park Elementary and Middle Magnet School. And Jill's part of the team that's going to figure out how to do this in a way that is helpful to teachers. Because I believe that this evaluation system, providing teachers with observation and feedback, and also looking at their data and making sure that every teacher is getting students to make a year's gain, is really going to be ultimately very, very helpful to teachers. And so I'm very optimistic over the long haul that this change in evaluation, which no other state is able to actualize like Tennessee is because of the value-added data, can really help our kids and help our teachers. I think it's going to be helpful to teachers. But what that opened up now was also, if we're going to change how we evaluate, we can also now, because of the law changes, change how we compensate, right? And Memphis has already started down this path, which is very interesting. And it basically says, if districts and their teachers associations together want to change how they pay teachers, they can, based on evaluation. In the past, in Tennessee, teachers' compensation is lockstep, based on the number of years you teach and the number of degrees you have. So every year, everybody gets the same raise as they go through their career. This says if you want to, if the association and the district together agree, you can compensate high performing based on evaluation and value added differently. And I think that's just a sea change for public schools. I might add, and I think this is important because it doesn't seem to have caught anybody's attention or very many people's attention, is this is also true for principals. They also will be evaluated every year. They also will be both observed, and their performance in part will be determined by the gain their school makes. And again, this is new territory for public education. I think it's a great opportunity. There are going to be bumps along the road, but I think it gets us into a better place where we're really focused on results. And more importantly than just the results, we're also giving folks feedback on a regular basis that'll help improve what they do. And there's a third law change. There's the evaluation piece, there's the we can compensate teachers differently piece, and then there's the opportunity for the state to really take control of schools that have been persistently failing. And those three pieces are the legislation that changed in January that I think were critical also to getting the Race to the Top grant. There's way more work in front of us than has already been done. I mean, there's so much to be done, but there's now an opportunity to move Tennessee from a laggard to a leader, and I think that's just a great thing for our kids and our state.